All right, I have 11:32, so we'll have people that are continuing to hop on, but we'll go ahead and kick this off. My name is Alicia Mowry. I'm our Director of Public Information here at the Delaware Area Career Center, and we are so excited to welcome you into the 2025-2026 school year. We have a lot of great information for you today. Our counseling team is on this call. We know that you're coming to us with a lot of questions, which is wonderful. We're so glad that you're engaged and that you're interested. They are coming to you with a lot of great information. So as we go through all of our slides, if we cover a full topic and you think that you have a question that hasn't been answered, go ahead and pop into the chat and drop that question in there. We will do our best to answer it. I will say, if you have a question that is very specific to your own child, we don't want you sharing private information in this public space. You can always email us your questions later, and we'll be happy to work with you one-on-one on those questions. Any of our emails that we've sent to you that say new student information at the top, if you reply to that, it comes to a real human, it comes to a person. We will get that to the right staff member who can answer that for you. We will be sending the recording of this information session to you later. So if you have to step away, if you get distracted and something happens, no worries. You can always watch it later. You can share it with any family members who haven't been able to watch it today. And if you are someone who is just jumping on the recording at a later date, know that if you have questions at the end after watching it, again, you can send us those emails. You can reply to any of those messages that you get from us, and we will make sure to get back with you. So with that, I am going to hand this over to our Principal of Student Services, Ms. Carrie Tresley.
Thank you, Alicia. As Ms. Mowry said, my name is Carrie Tresley, and I am very proud to serve as the Principal of Student Services at Delaware Area Career Center. We are extremely excited to have you with us today and to welcome all of our new families. This year, we're thrilled to be accepting one of the largest classes in DACC history. And currently, our incoming class stands at 851 students. And that just speaks volumes about the growing demand for career tech education, not just here in Delaware and Franklin counties, but across Central Ohio as well. Even with such a large group of students joining us, rest assured, we are committed to maintaining that small school feel that makes DACC so special. Most of our lab programs are capped at 25 students, and the students spend 3 hours a day together in their labs, which allows them to form a close-knit, supportive learning community with one another. So students are in very capable hands, and we are very proud to share that every year, 96 to 98% of our graduates go on to enroll in college or post-secondary education, to join the workforce, or to enlist in the military, thanks to the strong foundation they receive through our career tech programs. On your screen, you'll see the list of topics we'll be covering today. We know that this is a lot of new information, but our goal is to help you feel more familiar and confident as a new member of the DACC family. Please know we are always here to support you and to answer any questions you may have. Our mission at DACC is to empower, prepare, inspire, and connect students. We empower students to take control of their learning. We prepare them with the skills and knowledge needed to be successful in whatever post-secondary path they choose. We provide meaningful experiences that challenge and inspire students to reach their academic, career, and life goals. And we help students to build relationships and a network to connect with our valued partners in higher education and business and industry. So all of this supports our vision that through their affiliation with DACC, students' lives will be elevated. So at DACC, our school counselors work very closely with students, and they provide support based on the lab program in which the student is enrolled. So we are currently in the process of adding a fourth counselor to our team, and that means that lab assignments will be realigned for the 25-26 school year. But as these changes are finalized, we will be sure to communicate all the relevant updates to both our current and our incoming families. So at this time, each member of our counseling team is going to just take a moment to introduce themselves.
Hi, welcome. I'm Allison Cox. I'm one of our school counselors here, and we're happy to have you on this call with us today.
Hello, good morning. I'm Matt Wood and another one of our 3 counselors. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Holly Mackey, and I am the other counselor here. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so one of the questions that we get a lot is, what is the counselor's role in career tech education? So school counselors at DACC do have a similar role and responsibility to those at your home high schools. We are regularly in classrooms, actively supporting students and staff. We are always available and accessible to meet students' needs. We offer individual student planning and deliver responsive services in order to assist students in developing the skills and mindset for academic career, college, social emotional development. We collaborate and consult with school personnel, parents and guardians, community partner and agencies, and our associate school district counselors to support half and full day students. We are regularly communicating with all of your home schools already. So that's a good connection that you'll have here, is that we are in communication with them a lot. We lead school efforts to advocate for a safe and positive learning environment for all students, and we take a student-centered approach in all that we do. All right, one of the questions that we get a lot is, what does the schedule look like? So if you are a half-day student, you will be here in the morning from 7:50 until 10:50 in the morning. The exception is the zoo school students are kind of the opposite. They are 12:30 to 3 p.m. out at the zoo. A full day student would have academics, and hopefully you filled out that form if you would have received that form from the emails. If you have not filled that form out, please do so that we can get you scheduled into your academics here. The exception with this, with full day too, is if you are an incoming pharmacy tech student and you're a full day student, you will have your academics in the morning and then your lab in the afternoon. So just kind of flipped from our juniors and seniors. But our full day students have hopefully filled out the Google form and selected their academic choices. The form had been emailed to you guys as well. So you don't have as many choices as you're probably used to when it comes to scheduling. So for government, it's a full year course here. It's government and econ, or you can choose to take the CCP political science course if you are pursuing the CCP option as well. For English, you either choose English 11 or the CCP English 1100. The math is pretty much determined based on whatever next math sequence you have, and then we double check those with your transcripts as well. And then for science, you do have a little bit more of an option. You can kind of choose between chemistry, anatomy, or forensics. The difference in that would be that if you're in one of the medical labs, you likely have an anatomy class already tied to your lab. And then my criminal justice students have forensics already offered. So if you have one of those classes that's already built in a lab, I'm working to go through your transcripts and make sure that you're not getting both of those sciences. I'm choosing a different science for you than you had previously maybe chosen, just so that you're already getting it in lab. So our academic space in our curriculum is a blended model that's designed for flexibility. So this works really well for students who are self-motivated and they're able to work independently when they need to. Teachers are always available for the support of students and guide their learning. The academic instructors work to connect the content to the students' interests. But again, our model is very independent and more of a self-motivated for our full-day students. All right, so our grading system here at DACC is probably similar to what you're used to at your home schools. And you can check your grades for your students at any time in our Power School. The one thing to note is that our Power School is different from your home school's Power School because we are our own district here. So you just have to have the code, and that will be sent out on the student schedule in August. When you get your student schedule, then you can set our Power School up so that you can see those grades. Grades are sent out, or you can view them in Power School, but then quarterly the DACC report cards are posted in the DACC Power School portal. The semester The official grades are sent to the homeschools for the transcripts. And our transcripts, we get a lot of questions all the time about student transcripts. And those are all coming from the homeschool, not from DACC, because you will not graduate from DACC. You will complete a program here at DACC. So all of your coursework is on one transcript from your home high school. The GPAs tend to differ between DACC and homeschool due to the grading scales and homeschools having APs and honors courses. Our CCP grades here are weighted according to the homeschool's policy, and the GPA and the final transcript always refer to your homeschool and the grading scale with them. And again, just mentioning that DACC does have a different power school from Olentangy or Buckeye Valley. And if you're a Worthington student, then that would be a whole new system for you. All right, so at DACC, we do offer a lot of support services here for our students. So if your student is on a 504 or an IEP, we will obviously honor those. The 504 plans are managed by the counselors here. We are, again, assigned by the CTE program that the student is in. The IEP plans, hopefully you are starting to have some meetings with your homeschool or with your intervention team at the high school, as well as our transition service provider. If you're full day, you will have an intervention specialist here with academics. If you're half day, the transition service provider will provide those interventions and support services here. Many of our IEP students have the Learning Center and the transition support services here during the day as well. The IEP, so you're meeting in the spring to do those transition services, and then the homeschools send the 504 plans to the DACC student services. One thing to mention is sometimes in the past, we've had students come over to us with a 504 plan. And the only way that we really know if you have a 504 plan or you don't have a 504 plan is based on what you put in the application. So if you aren't sure, maybe reach out to us to make sure that we are going to receive that plan, because we won't know to ask for it if you didn't put in your application that you're on a 504 plan. So make sure that you have that so you can get your accommodations met here. The other service we have is the English language learner, and we have an EL instructor. They provide language support in the lab setting, help students access content and fully participate in their program. So there's a lot of great support here, and we're excited to meet you.
So as we just mentioned, our transition service providers, or TSPs, are an essential part of our student services team. They are going to provide targeted support in the career tech labs for students who receive special education services through an IEP and attend DACC as half-day students. So similar to our school counselors, each TSP is assigned to support students in a specific lab program. So on your screen, you'll see the current lab assignments for our 4 TSPs: Miss Blatchley, Miss Gossett, Miss Robinette, and Ms. Shoemaker. These designations help to ensure that the students receive consistent and personalized support that's aligned with their individual goals and needs as well. So in addition to the support that our school counselors and TSPs provide to all DACC students, we are very proud to be in our 10th year of offering school-based mental health services right here in our building. These services are delivered by licensed professionals, and their work is guided by 4 key pillars of the programming. Linkage and referral is connecting students and families to community-based resources and supports that are based on their individual needs. Screening and intervention is helping to identify the presenting concern and determining the appropriate level of care, whether that's like in the moment or through longer term supports. For wellness, they work with individual students or small groups to proactively build skills and promote overall emotional wellness. And our behavioral health professionals also partner with school personnel to help create and sustain sustain a nurturing and supportive school environment. So overall, our goal here is to work in partnership with both students and families, combining school-based support with strong communication and collaboration. So we believe that when schools and families work together, students thrive, not just academically, but socially and emotionally as well. Next, Ms. Cox is going to review graduation requirements and information.
Okay, we often get asked how graduation works with students that attend DACC. So we want to go over some of this information. A lot of it may be similar to what you have heard or should be similar to what you've heard from your homeschool. Again, we're following your homeschool's requirements. So students, first thing to clarify is students do receive their diplomas from their home high school. They do not receive a diploma from DACC. So they will graduate from their home high school, attend their home high school ceremonies, just like students that are not attending DACC. Students will be participating in their homeschool ceremony. They'll wear their caps and gowns. All of that celebration will happen through the homeschools. Students that choose to come to DACC with us also get to participate in a completion ceremony that we hold at the end of their senior year. So students that successfully complete their labs are then participating in a completion ceremony with us. It's a great event at the end of the year, similar to a graduation ceremony, but they're getting their completion certificates with us. And it's a great way to wrap up their time at DACC with family, friends, and their teachers and lab instructors. Throughout the time at DACC, as Ms. Mackey mentioned, we work very closely with our homeschool counselors. So we are in constant contact, ensuring that students are meeting all of the graduation requirements through their home high schools. So we talk frequently with our homeschool counselors, again, just to make sure students are staying on track with everything needed. As a reminder, Ms. Mackey mentioned earlier as well that DACC does not issue transcripts. So all of the classes that your students are taking here through DACC, whether it's just for their lab or if they're a full-day student, lab and academics, all of those classes and grades are sent back to the homeschools each quarter, and at the semester they are added to the student's homeschool transcript. So again, a student at the end of their time, when they're ready for graduation, they have one transcript issued through their homeschool with all of their classes taken at both the homeschools as well as their DACC classes on there as well. For graduation requirements through the state of Ohio, students need to show 3 components in order to successfully meet their graduation requirements. So I'm going to go through each requirement a little bit more in depth, but as an overview, the 3 requirements that they need to meet is first their course completion, again, making sure that they have met all of the credits and classes needed for graduation. The second one is showing their competency skills. And the third criteria is demonstrating readiness, which are the SEALs. So to break these down a little bit further, the first requirement is, again, that they meet their district's minimum graduation requirements through their credits and classes taken. So you can see in this chart here, this is what the state has outlined as the minimum number of credits that each student needs to receive in order to graduate for the state of Ohio. However, districts also have the option to add some additional requirements to there. So 20 is the minimum number of credits students have to have in order to graduate. But again, each high school may differ slightly on what they require. Students in your child's graduating class are now required to take a financial literacy component in order to graduate. That is typically a semester class, as well as completing 2 semesters of a fine art. Typically, when students come to DACC, the homeschools have the option to waive the fine arts requirement. They don't get credit for the fine art, but it just shows as a waiver because they're completing their career tech program. So that's something that you definitely want to check with your homeschool if your child has not received their fine arts credits yet and you're not sure how they're going to fit those in. That's a question that you definitely want to check with the homeschools. The second graduation requirement is showing that the student has demonstrated competency skills. This is based on end of course testing. So the first way a student can show that they have demonstrated competency is earning a score of a 684 in both the Algebra 1 and the ELA 2 English Language Arts 2 test that a student would take freshman and sophomore year of high school. Again, the 684 is considered the passing score to show the student has met competency in those areas. So if they pass those tests with a 684 or higher, they have met requirement 2 and are good to go on to the next step. If they do not successfully pass the Algebra 1 and the ELA 2 test, they will have the opportunity to continue to retake that test. And if they still are not able to meet those scores, then you will see 4 additional criteria that in different ways that the state has outlined that a student can also show competency in place of the test scores. So the first way is to demonstrate 2 career-focused activities. There are foundational and supporting skills. A lot of these are things that through the Career Center that we offer here. The first one, the proficient scores of a 3 or more on a web exam. A web exam is a test that your child will take with us next year. It's kind of like an end of course test for the lab. So students take a pre-test at the beginning of the year and a post-test at the end of the year. So that is one option that a student can do in order to meet competency. And again, students have to do 2 or more of these activities, 1 foundational and 1 supporting or 2 foundational. So again, the industry credential that they could receive through lab, a pre-apprenticeship, those are just some of the ways that they can help demonstrate competency, as well as work-based learning, work keys, or an Ohio Means Jobs Readiness seal. The second way is students can also earn College Credit Plus in the subject area that they did not pass. So if they have not passed their Algebra 1 test, but they are enrolled in a math class for College Credit Plus and successfully complete that, that can cover the competency skills. ACT or SAT scores are yet a third way. And then finally, there's a military enlistment option for students that decide to enlist in the military that can also take place of the Algebra 1 and ELA competency scores needed. And the third requirement for graduation is to demonstrate readiness through SEALs. So there are 12 SEAL options that students can earn. In order to graduate, a student has to earn at least 2 SEAL options. So they can earn 2 of any of these 12 that are offered. So these typically align with students' goals and interests. There's a lot of different ways that a student can earn a SEAL. And again, we work closely with students to ensure that they have these in place if they do not have them yet at the time that they come to us as juniors. Some of these SEALs can be earned through state testing, such as their sophomore year biology scores, American history, and then junior year government scores. And some of these SEALs are local SEALs that can be earned through different pathways at the home school, such as the community service SEAL, the student engagement SEAL if they participate in sports. At least 2 seasons typically will earn them the student engagement SEAL. And then finally, fine and performing arts is a local SEAL as well. So each district kind of determines what's needed to meet those SEAL requirements. But students do have to earn the 2 SEALs. That's the third way, third requirement they need in order to graduate. So again, we work closely with their home schools to ensure students are on track and have what they need to meet those. Mr. Wood is going to be going a little bit more in depth about some of the DACC SEALs, so I will turn it over to him.
Thank you, Allison. And as we continue to put those questions in the chat. We've had some good ones so far. And we're going to continue a little bit more with the SEALs that she was talking about in a little more depth. DACC, we support students in several of these SEALs and meeting those requirements. The industry recognized credential SEAL, that's getting those 12-point industry credentials that are part of each of our labs. The technology SEAL, our 5 or 6 of our technology programs do participate with that SEAL: digital design, cyber, app development, engineering tech, robotics engineering, and our senior only app development program. And there's students that are in those programs receive those SEALs if they get that C or higher and participate in the rest of the completion requirements. The Ohio Means Job Readiness Seal. Students that are doing work-based learning, have jobs, and a whole lot of other things can get those Ohio Means Jobs Readiness Seal and work with their mentors to achieve the requirements on those. The Student Engagement Seal, participating in each of the individual CTSO membership programs, such as Skills USA, allows for students to get those if their homeschool allows for that. The Ohio Honor Seal is the Career Tech Honor Seals. Those are available as well, meeting the state requirements for those seals. And we work with the homeschools to ensure that students receive those seals. All of these seals are part of that, those 2 seals for graduation, and can also be used. Some of them can be supporting an honors diploma as well. So we work hand in hand with the homeschools to make sure that everybody is getting what they need, and it works out well. Most people on this meeting have knowledge on College Credit Plus, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. Please go to our DACC College Credit Plus website for much more information. But as we're going through some of these specific things on College Credit Plus, it's an important thing if your students are going to be a full day student, that if you have any questions or you feel like you're not sure about those type of things, that you reach out to us soon if to be sure that your student can qualify for College Credit Plus. So we're working through that right now. So for the requirements for College Credit Plus, generally it's a 3.0. Some students use alternatives such as the ACT and placement testing. There was an intent to participate form required by April 1st. Most of you achieved doing that through your Google selection form for courses that we did earlier. There'll be some follow-up for that at the start of the school year. But if you did that course selection form, then you're currently good with that. Your application for the university. So this is something that is very important right now. I've sent emails out regarding College Credit Plus to students that I do not have their information on. I'm the lead on that. So you might get an email from me, and you might have got one of those today. So if your student's taking political science or English 1100, those courses are through Columbus State. And I sent an email this morning on how to do that application. If you've done the application, that you're supposed to send me that Cougar ID, and then also completing the additional paperwork they require for the mature content and permission forms. If your student's taking their pre-calculus through the University of Findlay, those applications will occur at the start of the school year. So there's nothing that you need to do with that currently. You see below here, towards the bottom, the courses that we offer for each school year. So we offer some during the junior year and a lot more during the senior year. And as many of you know, your students can take additional College Credit Plus courses through the university of their choice that offers College Credit Plus. And we work with families and students to make sure that they qualify for those and they're not going over the credits that are allowed. Then as far as some of our programs specifically do have college credit arranged through the course if students qualify, such as biotech and exercise science. There may be some additional of those in the future. So if you have questions or need more information, we highly recommend that you first go to our website where we have our College Credit Plus information. And again, if you need to complete if your student needs to complete the Columbus State application, that they get that done as soon as possible. I cannot put students into those courses if I do not have that Cougar ID and that additional information. And we'll move on to CTAGs. Okay, so now let's talk briefly about 2 ways your student can earn college credit through their career tech program: articulation agreements and CTAGs, or career technical assurance guides. Articulation agreements provide a seamless pathway from high school into a college program, whether it's an associate degree, certification, or even an apprenticeship. DACC has partnerships with several institutions, including Columbus State, Hocking College, Marian Tech, COTC, and UNOH. These credits are only required to be accepted at the university that the articulated credit agreement is with. The most important thing to know about the articulation is that we work directly with students at the end of their senior year to complete the paperwork. If for some reason the student decides not to complete the paperwork at that time, they do have additional time to do so. But we'll be working with your students to earn that credit. If students are attending the university that the credit is awarded through, we work closely with them to do that. So there's not anything that you need to do during, like, for instance, right now or through the junior year. We work with students to make sure they're enrolled at those universities. If they're going to attend there, that they have to be enrolled when we're completing that paperwork. So we will be making sure that occurs with your student. And then moving on to our CTAGs, or the Career Technical Assurance Guides. CTAG credit allows students to transfer credit to any public college or university in Ohio that offers the same type of course. This all happens directly from the state database and the public college or university. No paperwork or data entry occurs from the DACC side for this. To earn CTAG credit, students must earn a C or higher in the course at the semester, pass the aligned web exam, which is at the end of their assessment, and submit required information within 3 years of their high school graduation. So a little bit different. Again, this is all through those web exams and through the state database. So the universities partner with the state on that. Both opportunities are great ways for students to save time and money as they continue their education after high school. And you'll see here at the bottom for additional information on getting that credit, and is through this link here at the bottom of this page, and that'll be sent out to you. That's it.
All right, that brings us to the end of our presentation. We want to thank you so much for joining us today. As we wrap up, take this opportunity to drop any remaining questions into the chat, and we'll do our best to respond before we close out. But remember, we are just an email away if something does come up later. You can see the names and the email addresses for each of us on the screen. They're also found on the website, but you will be receiving this via email, so you will have the information. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here to help. Also, we're looking forward to seeing you at our upcoming acceptance night on Thursday, April 24th. It's a great opportunity to meet your lab instructor, learn more about the year ahead, and get even more excited about your future at DACC. And you have been emailed information, and you'll continue to receive some information about signing up for acceptance night on Thursday, April 24th. So today, most of all, we want you to know that you're not just joining a school, you are becoming part of our big DACC family. We really, truly are a family, and we are very much looking forward to welcoming everyone. We want to thank you so much. Thank you again for your time today. And we can't wait to officially welcome you this fall.
And Carrie, would like to just jump in and add, we have acceptance night, like you said, coming up on April 24th. On April 16th, we also have our principal's information session. So if this was helpful to you and the information helps you to feel a little more at ease coming into our district next year, please join us for the principal information session. They will go over things like logistics for the day. Transportation is always a big question, so they'll go over that. So please join us for that. We will resend the sign up for that, as well as the recording of this session and the slides. So if you had to jump on late, or if you had to step away for a while, you'll get the recording of this and the slides for it. And I also just want to say a big thank you to our counselors. This is the time of year, you heard Ms. Tresley say that they are getting ready to help a record number of students graduate. So they're working on that. They're helping our junior class transition into their senior year, and they are here for all of you, helping your students get ready to join us for the first time next year. So they're doing triple duty, and we really appreciate them taking the time to walk us through all of this and help your students get ready for the upcoming school year. So if there's any other questions, we'll stick around for just a minute and answer those in the chat. Otherwise, you have our email addresses, and we are always here to help you through this transition. It's a big decision, and we appreciate the courageous choice your students have made. Somebody did ask, are we going to receive a schedule with specific classes? So yes, over the summer, before, and I think Ms. Mackey just answered that, but right before school starts, we will, she's on top of it. We will mail out your schedules. It will have a full schedule of the day, plus, usernames and Wi-Fi password and all the things they'll need to get started on day one.
Yeah, that schedule is really important because it does have parent login information for PowerSchool as well as student login information on PowerSchool. So make sure that you find that paper. If you can't come to schedule pickup, we will mail it out to you as well, but make sure you highlight that and have that information so that you can get your kids' grades.
And Debbie just asked if you can't attend the principal information session, you do not have to register for it. We'll send that out to everybody who is an incoming family. So no worries there. If you're able to join us for it, great. If not, you'll get that in your inbox. Just like this, you'll get it as a recording with the slides. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we will let everybody get back to their day. We hope you have a great weekend. Thank you again to our counselors. You guys are amazing. And we can't wait to meet everybody at acceptance night and see you in the fall.